Welcome to Wagers on Campus, your home for weekly college football coverage with shows dropping every Wednesday and Friday. It is week 3, and we're talking the college football slate. Appreciate you guys checking us out. What's up, everyone? This is Mayor, and I am here with Xander.
Hello.
And we're going to get into week 3 of college football. But Xander, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Great to see you too, Alex. Doing well. Just really polishing up. We got a little bit of our first kind of conference action here. We got some bigger games. Still got a lot of lopsided lines on the board trickling out. But we've got a little bit of a real college football season inching forward. So looking forward to it. Big game in Evanston on the Lake. I'm sure we'll mention.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this week. A lot less hectic than last week felt. So, a lot of good games.
For sure. I agree. It kind of feels like we're starting to slowly but surely get into the flow of the season. And before we recap week 2, let's just rip the Band-Aid off right now, Xander. Hey, congrats on your positive week last week.
Oh, man. There was more pushing than a kindergarten playground on our card. 3 pushes total, 1 on each side. And, that's the worst week from you in 3 years. So if that's saying something, that's not the worst week of all time. So only can go up from there. I have faith in my guy. I hope no one else bailed on my guy.
Well, thanks. I gotta say, I was a little bummed that I got awarded 2 pushes on lines that I bet at that ended up being winners. But when the card was released, you gave me the hook numbers instead, and they turned into pushes. And I just wanted to ask you your thoughts on that.
Oh, wow. You should be happy for the UConn one. I didn't see it 7 anywhere and just took your word for it there, because that would have been a loss.
It would have been a loss. Man, I can't believe we're getting into this here. But when I drop my picks on the document, those are the real numbers that I bet. And I had UConn at 7.5 at -120, as well as Iowa State -2.5. So I'm wondering, when you put those graphics out, are you putting out the numbers that you're seeing on Friday? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just putting them whenever I see them when I pull up the graphic. That is the consensus pick that will be available to tail and bet.
Yeah.
I tweeted out one already this week that's changed because it's such a volatile market. That Pittsburgh game, like, I bet it at 6.5. It's mostly 7, some 7.5 now. So I'm happy to tweet out any early bets that you have to hold us accountable. And I also put it in the Action Network app. I can do that as well, because that's a hefty, nice little tracking device that's more than that. Just holds us accountable and just does it for us.
Look, I'm not mad about it from the standpoint of me getting pushes, even though on the card I submitted they were wins. I'm more mad at myself for going 1-5-2, down 6.9 units. Dear God Almighty. Geez, man. What an absolute bloodbath on Saturday night. I was just watching the games, Michigan, Oklahoma, Michigan State, Boston College, Vanderbilt, Virginia Tech. And it was just one of those nights where you just knew that something bad was going to happen to the side that you bet on before it even took place. It was just felt like one of those days. So just one of those days.
Fred.
Yep.
Fred Mayor Durst.
And Xander, you go 8-7-1, up 1.4 units, and you hit your lock.
Yeah, comfortably, thank God. And other than that, it was a grind as well. Completely on the wrong side of. I doubted the MAC, and I deserved to get a little bit of a whack on the head there. I thought West Virginia would kind of flex a little bit, and man, they're going to struggle in the Big 12, if we're being honest, from what I saw. Because I saw that same Ohio team get kind of steamrolled, pushed around by the Rutgers. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have my full card pulled up yet. Just happy to hit my lock. That was my most invested bet. I will say, as heartbreaking as that UConn loss was, I did kind of steal one with Pitt. So we washed in the morning. Like Pitt really had no business covering that 21 and a half. They were up 21 with the ball with 3 minutes to go. And they easily could have kind of slow played it, knelt, and the backups pushed it down the field and got over. So one bad beat, one good win, I guess you could say, in the morning. So not very upset there. But yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know if you saw this. I have it in. Might as well get into the recap. Your Stanford first half. Were you watching any of that game?
I was following it on my phone before I went to bed, but when I went to sleep, I think it was 12-0 BYU, still in the first half. So no, I don't know what happened other than
Correct.
we got lost.
Yeah, correct. It was. And I back my guy. Stanford first half was a last leg of a 6-leg parlay for me to hit 2 on Saturday.
Oh,
And I was just keeping the good vibes. I was just like, we need something. We need something. BYU muffs the punt to give us life. And somehow the Stanford defender can't jump on it quick enough. And we had it, would have been in at least field goal range to make it 12-3. And this is waning moments of the half. I'm like, we just need anything, miracle, like something, muff punt. And he muffs the punt. I was stunned. I thought we had it. Oh, Stanford guys pointing their way. I was ball. Oh man. So yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw that or not, but that was just a real kick in the nuts. And then of course, I hate to bring it up, but your lock. I mean, 1 yard away. I thought I'd maybe get traction. I tweeted this at SVP and Stanford Steve because it's not technically a bad beat, but the offense is on the field. Touchdown gets you over 3.5 in the first half. Kansas takes a timeout, and the field goal unit is on once we come back from commercial.
yeah.
I mean, are you just laughing at it? Because it would have been stealing for sure, but still, a win's a win. What were you feeling as you see the offense on the field?
I felt pretty excited on the inside when Missouri hit that big play to, get him down to the 3-yard line, and totally agree with you. I was like, wow, this has a chance to be miraculous. But I think over the years, I've gotten better at keeping even keeled about that type of stuff because I was like thinking to myself, listen, this would be miraculous. There's no way this bet is going to hit. So don't get your hopes up too much, like you fucking clown. And then when they put out the field goal unit, I wasn't like screaming or like, oh my gosh. I was like, no, that was not a good bet by me, and I didn't deserve to win it, and I didn't win it. Period.
Still, those are ones you like to have just because of the story and you remember.
It was exciting for a couple minutes. I mean, no doubt about it.
And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, Missouri first half, Missouri got the ball on their own 14 with 32 seconds to go and one timeout. They just handed off like a nothing play to get into half. Running back takes it all the way into Kansas territory, and all of a sudden we're cooking for a field goal. And one play later, after an incompletion, it's completed across the middle. Missouri wide receiver makes a couple plays to avoid tackles and gets down the sideline needing one more block to get into the end zone. He's pushed out at the 2 to 3 yard line. It was super exciting into the half, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Mizzou is down 3, so a touchdown plus an extra point would have put them up 4 at the half and covered the first half spread. But instead, they kicked the field goal and they went into halftime tied.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Well, I will say from histories, I have all the graphics saved. Yeah, we've started slow in weeks 0, 1, and 2 in the past, so this is nothing we're not shying away from. And guess what? The other 2 years we finished above 55% total as a podcast as a whole, Alex and I. So that means there's about to be some scorchers of cards coming up. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you just have to keep that JJ McCarthy mentality. Don't ever give up.
Yeah. Yep. I'm just gonna
Ask-
start
ask
Googling
Bears
ways. Yeah, it's Googling ways to meditate, and then I'll be cured of my depression of losing any bets.
How about that?
Oh,
How about that comeback on Monday night, though?
all right. This is a college football podcast, please.
Okay. That's fine. So what do you want to
And someone that had Bears money line, I'm just still
brother? Me too. And the under.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Ugh. Just
17
keep
to
finding
7
ways.
17 to 6 early in the fourth quarter.
Wow. That's stunning. That the under loss. Wow. All right. Recap of week 2. All right. I just had a little rant here, and this actually kind of spills over from the NFL game, but I saw a few plays in college as well. That there needs to be like just a GA or someone that is like specifically there for chaotic moments to like calm down the coach or something, like the secret word, because we saw it in. I mean, it didn't end up hurting the Chargers, but when Kansas City ran out the fire drill kicking team with less than 9 seconds to go, and the Chargers matched the speed and intensity when they completely did not have to, could have just trotted off, had the appropriate amount of time to get subs on, half would have been over. Kansas City makes it. There's a couple other instances in college where that happened, where just like chaotic moments are happening, and the coach like completely pulls the wrong trigger, whether it's like not challenging a play in time because they're so like now everyone's so I don't know if there's been a different level of judgment on challenges, if that's like affecting coaching hiring because of all the cameras, but they aren't quick enough, still not quick enough than a team getting to a line. You have to just be willing to go off of your gut on some of these. And yeah, it was really bugging me all weekend. Just a lot of chaotic moments and how like these aren't nothing we saw, like the fire drill, nothing we saw was the first time we've ever seen it in football. Like it's happened before. It'll happen again. Like how are we not prepared for these, Alex? That's my rant.
Yeah, I mean, especially when all these people do is literally they're around football all of the time and it's what they've done their entire lives. I mean, that's legitimately just their livelihood. It's what they do day in and day out. So to not know the rules for stuff like that, like in the Chargers game, when, you know, the clock would have ran out and it would have been halftime and the Chiefs wouldn't have been able to even kick the field goal. It's there's no excuse for it. There's just no words for it, honestly. I mean, you hit the nail on the head, but how do you not know the rules when you're a head coach of a major football program?
Yeah. Buffalo going for 2, down 15. I mean, how do you even explain that?
The thinking I guess the thinking do you know what the thinking is there? Because
No, I don't.
I
I
had
do
asked
not.
the same question. The thinking is that you're going to have to go for 2 at some point. So you might as well go for 2 on the front end because in case if you don't get it, you know the play style that you have to play in order to get yourself back in the game.
Yeah, that one still doesn't make sense to me. I heard exactly what you said, and you're still down 2 possessions now, and the offense can run completely different offense than if you were only
I
down 1
agree.
possession.
I agree. I'd kick it.
That one doesn't make sense in the analytics side. That seems like fudging the numbers there.
If you got a chance to cut it to 8 with an extra point, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, that one was all the Bills guys around me were very upset. Yeah. All right. Biggest surprise of week 2 for you. Biggest takeaway, surprise, whatever.
Why don't you kick it off? Let me take a look.
Yeah, for sure. So, man, we saw this in another NFL reference, but weather delays. But Clemson, they got sent into the locker room midway through the first quarter. So, you come out very hyped. Troy just scores a touchdown, and then you go in for it was long. It was like an hour and a half weather delay. But after that, they came out and they still didn't do anything in the half. It was 16-3 at half, and they still looked flat. Finally gained, it was 2016 going into half or going into the fourth quarter. They obviously finally took the lead and won the game, but they're facing some injuries, and we'll talk about it later when we cover the game. But the biggest surprise was Clemson's performance by far at home for me.
Yeah, I mean, that was alarming. They were down 16-3 against Troy in the third quarter. Is that right?
Yep, 33-point. At halftime, it was 16-3, 33.5-point spread.
So are you concerned about Klubnik? Is there just not an extra gear that maybe some people thought that he might have?
I think the biggest concern that I, kind of mentioned where we would find an issue with Clemson in our preseason coverage is depth. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We've got injuries. The star receiver is out right now. No one else has stepped up really in the receiver role. They don't have much depth at receiver. Again, it seems like they're struggling at getting any sort of run game established. Defense looks solid. Obviously the team like Troy is going to throw their best stuff at you. I think Clemson had 3 takeaways in the end of the half / second half. They did kind of put the clamps on and really buckled down. So defense is left to worry, but offense, yeah, I don't know if it's Cade. I don't know what it is, man. But a lot of people on Georgia Tech this week. Let's say that.
Sure. For my biggest surprises, I'll kind of do half and half here. Going with the obvious one, South Florida beating the Florida Gators. Florida was a 18, 19-point favorite in that game, and I watched a lot of that game, Burns, and I don't want to say Florida didn't have any business losing the game, but it's kind of where I'm leading. South Florida's offense, not sustainable, very reliant on the big play. Not a type of offense that's marching down the field methodically and they look smooth and like a well-oiled machine. Florida's offense to not be able to put South Florida away is honestly just mind-blowing to me, really. There was a play late in the game where Lagway threw a fade route to a freshman wide receiver that pretty much would have put the game away, and the ball went right through the receiver's hands. And then from there, South Florida, after missing that bomb field goal attempt, I think it was a 60-yarder. They just missed it. Florida has to give the ball back to South Florida. And then Florida just completely and utterly implodes from the defensive lineman spitting in the South Florida's face.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I mean, he must have looked up to Jalen Carter because Carter had done that 2 days before and thought, oh, that looks cool. I'm going to do that. Spits right in his face, 15-yard penalty. And then on that damn screen pass, when South Florida had the ball at their own 40, the Gators missed 3 easy-ass tackles and down, off to the races, South Florida went. So I was just really, really stunned to see the Gators lose outright at home to that team. And then my honorable mention, your Vanderbilt Commodores. Oh my goodness. That game was 20-10. Virginia Tech had a 10-point lead at halftime. And then in the second half, Vanderbilt took that team in the back alley and just whooped on those boys. The push that the Vanderbilt offensive line was getting was NFL-like. They just absolutely dominated Virginia Tech, and Pavia made some plays, made some nice throws. The receivers made some nice catches on the outside. It was just a very big boy performance by Vanderbilt. They just whooped that ass. Outscored Virginia Tech 34-0 in the second half en route to a 44-20 win at Virginia Tech at Lane Stadium. What a performance! What an impressive performance by Vanderbilt.
Well, that's a great call out, because that's a great segue to the overreaction. Vanderbilt's playoff team. That's my overreaction for week 2. These boys are sure, they got a tough schedule ahead, but last year was their coming out party, and this year is their kicking ass, taking names season. I'm bought into this team. They're a complete team. Not saying they're going to run the table by any means. This could be our first potential 3-loss SEC team, the way everything goes. But I think they, we'll talk about it a little bit. I think they win this week. They get a cupcake next week, and then a bye and Bama. So it could be 5-0 going into Bama, or 4-0, and playoff team in my mind.
They looked very complete. Pavia is obviously the big story because he's the quarterback, but the team as a whole just looked confident. They had a swag to them. Just a very savvy look by Vanderbilt to me.
Yeah. Another overreaction. Is Kansas State a bad team? 1-2. Lose to Army, who just lost to an FCS team. Oh, expectations were high. There's a graphic with a playoff bracket prediction by someone in this podcast that has the Kansas State Wildcats. And it's not the guy not talking right now. It is me. And technically the road is still very wide open, because only one loss in the Big 12 so far, to Iowa State, to open the season. So Army loss obviously won't hurt any chances to make the playoff on a Big 12 win. But without Dylan Edwards, we didn't even get to see him. This is Kansas State will forever regret letting Will Howard go for one extra season and going with Avery Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, how could you say that they wouldn't? I don't know yet. The season's not over. There's so much football to be played, but the results so far ain't good, and it's just very alarming after losing such a close game to start the year in Ireland to Iowa State, how these next 2 games against North Dakota and Army have just gone right down to the wire when they, K-State won one and they lost another.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer for you. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, my last overreaction, outside of Utah, is the Big 12 lucky to just even get an auto bid this season. It's been a very underwhelming performance by a lot of the teams across the board outside of the Utah Utes.
Just in the Big 12?
Yeah, just in the Big 12.
I would agree with you, but I would probably want to not shout out because they haven't played anyone, but hasn't Texas Tech looked pretty impressive so far?
Yeah, again, like you just said, can't give them flowers for like a FCS and a Kent State drubbing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
They're a wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will. Kansas, I thought, played their asses off against Mizzou, but just came up a little short on the defensive side of the football.
Yep. Biggest winners of week 1, it kind of lumped it in. I think we got to agree. USF, Ohio, getting a P4 win. Pretty good. The green teams, call them out. It's Tulane getting a win again with the group of 5 wide open. I think the winners this week were green.
Yeah, not me. That's why I was a loser. That's why I was in the red. So,
Oh, God. Losers this week. Mayor. No, kidding. MAC schools playing FCS schools. 2 losses to FCS schools. Eastern Michigan loses to Long Island, the Sharks. And UMass loses to Bryant. That's tough. But good for someone that gave out both their season unders for win totals. Those are games we expected to lose to the win column. So I will take those all day, every day.
yeah, for sure. I remember you were dogging on UMass pretty good before the year. So, losing to Bryant, that's looking good for you. I have another question for you pertaining to the MAC. What did you think of Toledo's performance against Western Kentucky? I did not expect a 24-point win. I'll say that.
Well, Mayor, that's garbage time too, because it was more of an ass whooping than that. It was 45-7 in the fourth quarter. This game was never close. I was impressed. I think it's the best Toledo team Coach Candle has ever had. They're going to be a problem. They don't play Ohio in the regular season, so we won't get that match. Their defense is legit. Too legit to quit. And I mean, they kick off to start the game. Force fumble, pick 6. It's 14-0 before 10 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So this defense obviously forced a safety, and Kentucky forced a few turnovers of Kentucky as well. Like, this team is good. And yeah, Emmanuel McNeil Warren is the guy you should watch out for playing on Sundays for Toledo, number 7. And I think they'll cruise through their MAC schedule. Obviously, have to go to Miami of Ohio. But that game in Wazoo is looking bigger and bigger, and Wazoo doesn't look very, very strong to say that we can't go out there and win that game.
Sure. If Toledo played Kentucky in Lexington this Saturday, what do you think the spread would be, given that it just was about 9.5, 9 to open the year?
It would be the same, probably 7.5, 8, 8.5.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky looks strong in that Ole Miss game.
Thought the defenses would show up a little bit more. I was a little surprised to see all the points put up on the board.
For sure. Yeah, didn't seem like much. Like offenses were really shooting themselves in the foot. Shocking from Kentucky, but don't get Kroger Field all hot. Don't get Kroger Field hot now.
Kroger Field. I mean,
they show up to play at the K.
Did you see Lane Kiffin's comments after the game apologizing to the Ole Miss bettors?
Oh, yeah, and the missed field goal at half.
No, he was apologizing because Kentucky was down 10 and they hit a play, and Kentucky was going to keep their offense on the field, but then Lane called timeout, and then Kentucky rolled out their field goal unit to cut it to a 7-point game. And Lane was like, "I'm sorry for calling timeout." To our Ole Miss -8.5 bettors.
That's nutty. No, I did not. I saw the clip of him, but it was like, it's new on the Bad Beat segment for SVP. And I did not. It was just right after a missed field goal, so I didn't obviously see the full iteration of it.
You know, I feel like Lane has really had this weird career arc where he wasn't liked and was kind of a villain to now he's like the cool dad, like the cool old dad who are like, oh yeah, Lane Kiffin, he's chill. Like, he's chill.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm still not bought into him. I think he's a prick, and I really don't like his demeanor. He hasn't won anything ever, and he's just like this like coveted coaching prospect, and every big game he just shudders. So I'm not a Lane guy, but I can understand I can understand the perspective that you're describing that I see on like especially SEC Twitter, because all the SEC, like anyone that has a coaching issue is like, oh, bring in Lane. Let's bring in Lane, which has been interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of bad coaches out there. And hey, he beat Jaden Daniels. Remember
He
that?
sure did.
You remember that game?
I do. That was crazy.
55-49 final.
He also brings an up-tempo offense that everyone loves. I mean, not going to grind you down to a halt. So tough to argue there.
Yeah. I mean, he really propelled Quinshon Judkins before Ohio State meanly came in and stole him.
It's just Ohio guy. What can I say?
All right. Well, should we get into week 3?
Yeah, I don't think anything really big occurred that we need to update. Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Sounds like Colorado is going to go with a different quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I don't have that game on the slate. Yeah, I might as well talk about that right now. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're just playing the hot hand. So tough to argue that, because usually, when you're not an NFL franchise that's paying these guys, I guess they are paying them now a ton of money. But Deion's more focused on winning than whatever. So he looked good the second half. Let him cook, as the kids say.
Yep. Let them cook in the kitchen.
Yeah. Let's talk big games.
All right, cool. Let's do it. So we can start with, now this is a nice game. 11 a.m. Central, ESPN. Clemson going on the road, taking on Georgia Tech. Haynes King, Georgia Tech's quarterback, probably will play, I think, but he is questionable. Burns,
It would be stunning if he didn't play. It was clearly precautionary last week. Yeah, it would be stunning. He gets undressed last week, a little banged up, but he's definitely going. There wouldn't be this much steam if bettors weren't confident that he was playing.
Did I see the line at 9 at one point? Am I
Yeah.
imagining that?
No, it was out before Sunday, so it was. But yeah, it got smoked down. Smoked down after Clemson's performance.
Yeah, it's 3.5 currently.
Yeah, nutty.
So
like including them in any teasers, it's just like getting it back to what it was, and I feel like we should avoid that for that reason.
yeah, I hear you.
Feels like
it's like
empty teaser.
You're not getting any value. Yeah. So what do you think of this game? Clemson on the road, Georgia Tech, huge ACC game, especially if like Georgia Tech can pull out a win. All of a sudden, they might be like a playoff team. So like, what are you thinking?
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah. So Brent Key, he is 9-5 against the spread versus ranked opponents. So he is he's not going to cower to any sort of big dog whenever they line up against each other. A lot of question marks against Clemson. So I don't have a play on this as we talk on Wednesday afternoon, just because players like Antonio Williams aren't officially in for Saturday on the Clemson side, banged up on the offensive line a little bit. So this would be a spot where you and I would both normally say buy low, right? Just had a hiccup Clemson game. I mean, we've seen it plenty of times before where teams have stumbled. I mean, Georgia was a couple of years back in the fourth quarter with Kent State. It was like a 10-point game, but they won the national championship and steamrolled everyone. So sometimes players just lack focus in some of those smaller team games. So yeah, but we've been high on Georgia Tech all preseason. You and I both think we both had them in our ACC championship, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we've both been high on Georgia Tech. This isn't shocking to us. So they haven't really let us down. Georgia Tech has covered 3 straight games as a home underdog, including last year, if you remember. They were 9-point dog to Miami, and they won that game. Haynes King should be good to go. Yeah, that's just why I'm waiting on, in case anything freaky happens with him. But I still like Georgia Tech with that hook. Close game, and I would lean towards the under here.
Yeah, I think I would lean Georgia Tech plus the points as well. They've proven that they can be very gritty. They're not scared. They're not going to back down. Haynes King's a good quarterback. Obviously, Clemson's super respected program, but I mean, I think if there's one thing we can say for sure is that Clemson's offense has been pretty damn underwhelming to start the season against LSU and then against Troy, whether it's Klubnik or the offensive line not being able to open up as many holes as you would want to see on the ground game, to guys like Antonio Williams missing games. I think there's definitely some legitimate concerns about Clemson's offense right now. And to lay 3.5 in this type of game on the road, yeah, I'm not sure if I would want to do that.
Yeah, it's a weird position because I could see Clemson winning this game, running away too from playing to their potential. But do you want to back your money low? And that's how you usually win money, is when you buy low.
This is Clemson we're talking about, like
yeah, exactly. It's not some new team on them. It's not UNLV becoming a national powerhouse here.
Exactly.
This is a team with a pretty stout record here. Dabo, his ass is on the line. Can't be losing games like this.
No, but I think it's very possible because Georgia Tech's a good team and they want it just as much as Clemson wants it.
How many? I know we haven't talked about these games yet, but how many parlays are going to be out there? Clemson, Georgia, LSU, Notre Dame this weekend.
Oh boy. Good call out. Yeah. Nick Marzano will be one of them.
Yeah, I imagine that'll pay like probably plus 600 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a ton of teams that are just like, how do they lose in this situation? I guess we'll talk about the other games, but
yeah,
they can. They can. Different season, different team. Like, got to show some respect to some other teams that can definitely put their name in the mix.
Mm-hmm. Well, another big game on Saturday is an SEC game. We got Georgia taking on Tennessee in Knoxville. Georgia, 3.5-point road favorite, 2:30 p.m. Central on ABC. What are your initial thoughts on this game?
Yeah, Georgia getting healthier. A couple banged up O-line guys. First game should be back. Look, I'm extremely sussed to be more generationally forward here by Tennessee's defense here. A lot of early money coming in on the under. Might not be a bad wave to follow here. Kirby just owns GBO, covering 8 of the last 9 on a 9-game winning streak in the series. I really don't like fading, a ranked home dog. And that's what we have in Tennessee. But do we believe Tennessee is an actual ranked team? That's a question that we have to be asking ourselves. So I'm zagging when everyone's zigging. I like the over here. I like a classic 230 SEC. Just a lot of energy, brings up both teams in the stadium. Georgia's been there before. Tennessee's looking to prove it on a stage early in the season. They haven't really played anyone, as we saw with Syracuse. That's why I'm so sussed by this defense. I think Georgia has looked very pedestrian. And I think we were just sleeping on our governors, Austin Peay, by the way, who had another good showing here last week.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I'm on the over 49.5. That's on the card. I just that feels like the right play versus a side. early in the season, I could see Tennessee taking this game, but I can't buy into it with that defense just yet.
Yeah. I think Georgia's defense is one of the best defenses in the country. They just haven't had a chance to showcase it yet because they haven't played anyone. So I think this is a really good opportunity for them to showcase their defense, which is usually pretty damn good. And I think it's really good again. So it makes me wonder if Tennessee is going to be able to put some points on the board against this Georgia team. And Joey Aguilar, Tennessee's quarterback, he's looked pretty good in these first two games, but they're against Syracuse and who'd he play? East Tennessee State, I believe.
Yeah.
So that is no Georgia. That is for sure. So it's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge for Tennessee's offense, and I think it's going to be a big challenge for Tennessee's defense, especially since they're missing their top two starting cornerbacks, and they also have a defensive tackle or two who are questionable going into this game. So everything you're saying about Georgia's offense being pedestrian is true. But I think right now I like Georgia because I think their defense is going to be too much to handle for the Vols, honestly, and I think offensively they'll be able to take advantage of some of Tennessee's injuries. But
sure,
it's kind of my initial thoughts on it.
So you leaning Georgia?
Yeah,
with the points.
After taking Michigan State minus 3.5 last week and only having them win by 2 in double overtime, I'm a little shy. But yeah, I lean Georgia minus the 3.5.
Oh, yeah, I was feeling for you on that one.
it was just another game, Burns.
Yeah, I know. Game. Yeah.
What's another unit?
That's a great perspective to keep the ship rolling.
Right.
All right. So the over for me and lean Alex for Georgia, 3.5. Backyard brawl is next.
Yeah. Pitt at West Virginia. Pitt laying 6.5 on the road. 2:30 p.m. Central, ESPN. This was a very competitive game last year.
I think this is in Steelers Stadium.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know it was a competitive game last year.
Morgantown. I'm an idiot. Sorry. I'll shut up.
And Pitt won last year, right? Eli Holstein had a really good performance and took him back late. Yeah, 38-34 was your final in the backyard brawl. Pitt got the win. So obviously Pitt, they're 2-0. They're trying to get to 3-0 against their rival, and then you got West Virginia, who's coming off a disappointing loss against Ohio University last week. So how do you see this one?
Yeah, like I tweeted out, I'm already on Pitt 6.5. It's at 7, some 7.5. ESPN bet in Tennessee still can get 6.5, but a little juicy at minus 125. I have this game 2 touchdowns in Pitt's favor on a neutral site. So going on the road, I'm good with betting it up to 9.5. I just see two teams in different positions. I see Pitt playing to their potential of what I kind of talked about in our preseason coverage of this team as a sleeper to come up and compete in the ACC, potentially win it and sneak into the playoff. And, Des Reed, he had a bad penalty on a punt return to go back-to-back weeks with a punt return. He's electric. Holstein's look good. And then on the opposite side, you just have a team full of Jacksonville State players with Rich Rod. Their star running back, Jaheim White, is out for the season, unfortunately, injured in that Ohio game. They rotated multiple quarterbacks in that Ohio game, and neither of them could move shit. They look so bad in the passing game. So I get that it's the backyard brawl, and this always you can throw out the spreads, but different team, like a lot of these players on West Virginia, they don't have that rivalry yet, that rivalry sense too early in the season. They're all transferring in. I think this is a comfortable Pitt win. I'm not really scared of the rivalry side, and I'll eat crow if I'm wrong. But I really like this game. Might even be a lock.
Yeah, you watched a lot of the Pitt game last week, is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
And did you watch West Virginia take on Ohio?
Yeah, I watched them both. Yeah, they were in the quad box.
Okay. What'd you think of Desmond Reed? How did he look last week?
He looked really good. He's electric. He's someone you need to be on high alert whenever he has the ball in his hands. And there's a few broken plays that allowed Central to kind of score. Pitt's defense definitely needs to tighten the ship. Maybe they didn't take their opponent as seriously, but they tighten the screws. That West Virginia offense will not move on them at all.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I see the line is up to 7.5 on my book currently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No real thoughts from me. So I won't drag that on. Other than it's a huge rivalry game, and I'm sure McAfee really wants the win for West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, they took one of the reasons it's so close. I mean, Holstein took 5 sacks last year, and Pitt really bolstered the old line in the offseason. That it's a lot more experience. So if he has time to throw, they should be able to carve him up.
All right. Moving on to.
And West Virginia wins by 14 going away.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bounce back after last week.
Yeah.
South Florida, 2-0, taking on Miami, 2-0. Miami at home in this one, 17.5-point favorites. Total is 56.5. 3:30 p.m. Central on the CW. I mean, I'll start and I'll just share my thoughts.
Yeah.
So Miami, thought that was an impressive win that they had against Notre Dame in the first week of the season. The pass rush looked pretty damn good. They got some guys who can get after the passer. Offensive line for Miami, very good. Sounds like they have several guys who are projected to make the NFL on that offensive line. And the slot receiver, dude, Tony, he was Malachi Tony. Is he related to Kadarius?
Maybe.
Yeah. He played outstanding against Notre Dame. That guy was making plays all over the field. And then, of course, Carson Beck, dude. I mean, I got to say, I was part of the Carson Beck hater club for a while. I'm no longer in that club, personally. I'm not going to say that I'm like a fan of his, but I don't hate him. And I think he's actually pretty good. So I think there's a lot to like about Miami this year, just as a squad. I think they're going to be really, really good, and I think they're going to be very much in contention for a playoff spot. I think they beat South Florida. Now, will they cover the 17.5? I'm not sure. Definitely think it could be a scenario where, they're up 24, 27 points late in the game and maybe South Florida backdoors them or something like that. So I guess if I was leaning a play with that logic, maybe Miami in the first half just to kind of dominate the lines of scrimmage and limit South Florida's propensity to have big plays as they have throughout the first 2 weeks of the year. I don't want to call them fluky, but they've kind of been a little fluky, some of the big plays at least from South Florida. So that's kind of where my head's at, man.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel the same way. I think we were kind of on the boat. We like South Florida to be frisky, but let's pump the brakes before we start considering them like a national contender here. All right. Not surprised at all they beat Boise. We already talked about that. Florida was a little surprising. We were on the right side of the spread, covered us there. Florida was able to move the ball like you talked about. Florida really killed themselves with 11 penalties over 100 yards. South Florida also plagued themselves with 9 penalties in that game last week. Obviously a lot of them trade field goals on a lot of those drives. I was on the over. I'm getting my lip back. We're on the over again, 56.5. I just think this Miami team, the pressure is there, and on the defensive line. I think Brown will be able to extend drives and plays even with that. But Miami's going to be able to finish drives that Florida was not. So South Florida is really going to be up against it to make sure to finish their drives and not settle for field goals. This is not going to be a 6-9 game at half. It's crazy. 5 field goals.
Yeah.
I can also see Miami covering as well, to be completely honest. If you remember last year, it's a one-score game going into half. Miami rolls off 28 straight. I think it was 22-15 at half, and 50 to 15 was the final.
Yep.
Last year.
Yep.
So obviously different quarterbacks, but yeah, I agree. I'm not a Carson Beck hater when it comes to betting on him. So let's ride the over and lean Miami money or spread.
Okay. Yeah, should be interesting. Man, if South Florida goes out there and drives down the field and takes a 7-0 lead. I'm not saying that for our betting purposes. I'm just saying from a ball standpoint. Wow. Will the attention be dialed up?
Alex Golish, former Toledo assistant, so not shocked he's doing well.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that about Golish. Another really intriguing game. We got a few intriguing games this week. I love it. Texas A&M taking on Notre Dame. If you guys remember last year, these two teams played in College Station, and Notre Dame won the game, I believe, 13-6. Was that the final?
20-13.
20-13. Really, really low-scoring game. Slugfest. Notre Dame was able to pull out the win on the road, and now this year they host the Aggies. They're a 7-point favorite. The over-under is 49.5. What do you think in the Texas A&M at Notre Dame? Notre Dame trying to avoid the 0-2 start to their season.
Yeah. I'm going to be fucking around with their money line in so many parlays this week. I just cannot see. I mean, they just got an early bye at home. What could possibly go wrong, Alex? They're going to be completely healthy. Texas A&M hasn't played anyone to have any sort of game speed match to what they had to face. Notre Dame had to face Miami out the gate. I think this is a beatdown. Not to mention, Texas A&M has just been horrific on the road. 3-12 straight up in the last 4 years. 3-10-1 against the spread. 3-10-2 against the spread, I should say. On the road the last 4 seasons. I mean, last year this team, a lot of the same players, were favored in 12 of the 13 games. They end up 8-5 on the season. I mean, this is a team that underwhelms at every step of the way. I expect Notre Dame to be able to control both sides of the ball. And, I see Notre Dame covering. And I like the under in this if I were to play anything.
So I was going to go there myself. I would lean the under. That would be probably my lean in this game. I'm not sure how effective Notre Dame's offense is going to be against Texas A&M's defense, especially in the first half when they haven't played in 2 weeks and they're at home, maybe getting a few jitters out. And Texas A&M, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know if they're any good on defense, but last year they were pretty solid, and they are an SEC opponent. So this is not going to be I don't think it's going to be easy for Notre Dame to be putting up points. And on the flip side of that, Texas A&M's offense through the first 2 games of the year, granted, I personally haven't watched them, but from the research that I did, they've been uneven. They've been kind of chaotic. Again, similar to South Florida, they've relied on some big play strikes to get their touchdowns. They haven't been methodically, crisply moving the ball down the field. Matter of fact, I want to say they have a 30% rate on 3 and outs this year offensively for them. So with a total at 49.5, especially, and then you consider last year being such a low scoring slugfest, I think I just have too many question marks on both sides for Notre Dame's offense and Texas A&M's offense. The only thing I know is for sure is that Jeremiah Love is a really good running back. but I think I would also go under in that one. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Moving on, 6:30 p.m. Central, ABC. My goodness, Florida at LSU. LSU 7.5-point favorite at home. Over unders 48.5. Florida, man. Oh my God. You think they get off the mat and bounce back in this spot? I mean, I still am just stunned that they lost that game last weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's tough because LSU has certainly got some question marks coming into this game. Obviously, getting the win is the most important part, but has that offense impressed you at all?
Well, they really didn't against Clemson. And I saw last week the final score against Louisiana Tech was 23-7, but I didn't have eyeballs on the game, but I was concerned with the final score.
Yeah, you should be. Because they're not really moving the ball. I think, teams are really not scared of this team's rushing offense. And it kind of shows. Only getting about 3.6 yards per rush. Uh, on the road, though, can I see a close game? Yes. What this Florida team has, I just don't think they have it. Like in the swamp at night or in Death Valley at night. I'm sorry, this isn't a get right spot for the Gators. This seems more like a breakaway spot for the Tigers. And this specifically, recovering Joe should stay away from this, but tell me how Notre Dame LSU money line -113 is not the lock of the century because I'm just staring at that and so infatuated and wondering how anything could go wrong in that scenario.
Well, I'm not going to answer that, but I think LSU's defense has looked really, really strong the first two games. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
But I'd say their biggest issue last year was mobile quarterbacks, though, as Reese and Milrow just absolutely torched their ass. So Lagway isn't that stereotypical mobile quarterback, but he does bring a little bit more of that aspect to the game that I will like to see how their defense has responded in the offseason for sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, just based on what I've seen from LSU's defense, and granted, it was only that one game against Clemson, but then when you check the box score against Louisiana Tech, you can see that they just completely suffocated them as well.
Yeah.
And after what I saw from Florida against South Florida, I mean, there's no way that I'm buying the Gators like being able to score a lot of points in this game. Absolutely not. Not on the road at night against an LSU defense that actually appears to legitimately look good. No. So again, I would have to lean under in this game, especially with some of LSU's struggles to run the football effectively. The Florida defense, for as undisciplined as they were at times, and for as disappointing as they were at times against South Florida, they're not the reason why they lost that game last week. So I'd lean under. I think LSU will win. I would lean that they cover the 7.5 because I just really am just disgusted by Florida right now. Yeah, under would probably be my favorite play.
That's fair. I'm laughing because of Louisiana Tech. Some pundit on this show named their quarterback preseason player of the year. It hasn't even played one snap, non-injury. Has lost the starting role. So
Carson Wentz, player of the year.
yeah, exactly. And how about this? CBS. I mean, you have to be absolutely wringing the neck of whatever person lost the SEC deal because you got Alabama, Wisconsin, 11 a.m. slot, Georgia, Tennessee, 2:30 slot, all on ABC, and then LSU, Florida, a triple header. Meanwhile, you have to show Penn State, Nevada in your 2:30 slot
Oh,
because Big Noon Kickoff just snarfs all the fucking Big Ten games. CBS has to be besides themselves with that slate rolling out on ABC.
you're right. You're right.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh, is right. The SEC CBS 2:30 p.m. slot is a classic that will be remembered by us old heads, and that's really about it.
Truly.
Presented by Home Depot. And then final game to talk about here, as far as like some of the big games, and we'll get into some other ones too. Vanderbilt on the road at South Carolina. South Carolina 5.5 point favorite at home. Over under 48.5. 6:45 p.m. Central on the SEC network. Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear it.
Yeah, South Carolina just is not the team that everyone expected coming out, which isn't shocking at all. I just don't see how this game is close to a touchdown. Technically, I mean, I can, but I just don't feel like the actual play on the field from Vanderbilt is being weighed here. And yeah, I still think they're carrying some of the stigma that has been Vanderbilt football for as long as they've existed. I mean, they've lost 14 straight road openers in the SEC. So all bad things also must come to an end. Not always all good things must come to an end. All bad things have to too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I really like Vanderbilt in this spot. They're just a complete team to me when it comes to executing on offense and defense, like especially halftime adjustments. I haven't allowed a point in the second half this season yet. Granted, one was Charleston Southern, but yeah, they're still putting up decent numbers against the run, only 3 yards per carry allowed by this defense. Virginia Tech's team that likes to establish the run. And yeah, when it comes to South Carolina, they do have a common opponent, by the way. I guess we're just kind of dodge that. Virginia Tech. Which team to you looked better playing Virginia Tech?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. So I'll take the 5.5. I won't get greedy on money line. Obviously, I might after a couple beverages on Saturday. But for the card, I'll take 5.5 Vandy. It's just tough to avoid right now. They're forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I would have to lean in the same direction. South Carolina, it'll be interesting. Like my questions about Vanderbilt would be their physicality and how they can match up with teams like South Carolina or just teams in the SEC in general. But they completely answered those questions in the second half against Virginia Tech. And not only did they show physicality, but Vanderbilt has a spirit of resilience. That team was down 10 points on the road at night in their first road game of the year against a Virginia Tech team who wanted to beat Vanderbilt very badly because they got embarrassed to them last season. And all Vanderbilt did was go out and beat them 34-0 in the second half. So even when Vanderbilt gets punched in the mouth, I think not only against South Carolina, but throughout the season, I think there's no question about it. This team is very mentally tough, and this team believes in themselves. So just really impressed with what I've seen from them so far. And I lean Vanderbilt plus the points as well.
Yeah, let's take it. Let's hop on the squad ride there.
Yep. Couple of the other games here to discuss. We'll start with Wisconsin taking on Alabama in Tuscaloosa, 11 a.m. Central, ABC. Alabama minus 20.5, over under 46.5. These two teams played last year in Madison, and Wisconsin's starting quarterback got hurt early in the game. He was out for the remainder of the game, and I'm not going to say that was the reason why Wisconsin lost, because that's not the case, but that did happen. And although it wasn't pretty, Alabama eventually pulled away and ended up winning by like 3 scores. So what do you think in this one, Burns?
Yeah, obviously Alabama with a very frustrating get right game last week, 73-0, very mean,
Very mean.
unnecessary to the UL Monroe Warhawks. But I just think this is a game where it's a bad spot for Wisconsin, and I really, really love the line. I love Alabama minus 11.5 first half. Love everything about it. I want to write home about it. Tell everyone Paul Revere this line. Because I just think Wisconsin, I mean, last week they stumbled again. The final, you won't see that. But, I mean, we're texting in the group about Middle Tennessee. They're driving in the third quarter to take the lead. I mean, so very sluggish for them. I mean, them without Billy Edwards, that offense looks lost. Defense pretty stout. But I think Alabama got, unfortunately, woken up and let loose with that Florida State loss. Exploded everywhere against UL Monroe, and I expect that to roll over into this game, especially at home. big time pause. So I'm on 11.5 first half, and this would be also like Bama. What is it? Team total, which is 33.5. Oh, might alt that total up to what's 36.5 plus 130.
Yeah, man, I just don't know. I just don't know what type of team Alabama is. That's really what it comes down to for me. I think I know what type of team Wisconsin is, and best case scenario, we're talking about an average team in the Big Ten. Where I will tip my hat to Wisconsin for what it's worth. I think we have to take their opponents into consideration. But the defense has been pretty locked down in their first 2 games of the year. For as disgusting as the offense has looked at times, they gave up 0 points to Miami of Ohio, and then they gave up 10 to MTSU. And when you check the box scores, they're pretty ugly for the opposing side there. So I think that's something worth noting. Wisconsin's defense might be decent. Offensively, they don't scare anyone, obviously, but I just don't know what to make of Alabama. I don't know. I mean, this is Alabama against a Big Ten opponent, and they got their asses whooped against Florida State in the first game of the year. So I'm not sure, man. I think this is just like a watch and see type of game for me. But if you're telling me Alabama's team total is, what did you say it is? 33.5?
Yeah.
I'm probably leaning under just because of Wisconsin's defensive performance so far.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair. It's something to be respected, but I think we could probably pull the tape from last year. It's probably the same coverage, and what happened? Bama comes into Madison, just blows the fucking doors off the hinges.
Yeah, they did. I guess I'm just curious to see like how Ty Simpson is going to look against a Big Ten defense. Like Jalen Milroe, at that point he was he was an established vet in that Bama offense. So I don't know.
True. I like your optimism.
Let's see. You got ULL against Missouri. 3 p.m. Central SEC Network. Missouri is a 27.5 point favorite, over under 47.5. Yeah, what do you want to cover in this one?
Yeah, this game has been juiced big time. It started at 21.5. Oh, no. Yeah, in the news, Walker Howard, ULL's quarterback, out for the season with oblique injury. Going to get surgery. That's not good for the Raging Cajuns. I mean, they were struggling to beat McNeese State last week, and they looked pitiful in week 1. Could barely muster anything after he got hurt, and even weren't really moving the ball well with him. So this is a line where don't want to get too high on these Tigers too early. We've seen them disappoint in past seasons, but I think under a key number of 4 touchdowns, I think I'd be comfortable laying this bigger number this week. Is why I wanted to pull it up. because I just was really impressed with Pribula so far. And this offense seems like it has a two-headed rushing attack in Roberts and Hardy. So I like the balance in the offense, and I am just fortunately so sold on the Raging Cajuns right now.
Yeah. I was impressed with what I saw from Missouri last week. I mean, they kind of, I don't want to say stumbled out of the gate, but a little bit. I mean, Pribula had the fumble. Kansas cashed that in. It was 14-6, pretty quick. And Mizzou just kind of fought back slowly but surely, and then kind of got their footing, and that was that. So, yeah, very curious to see like how Mizzou is going to look once SEC play starts. I think if I was like giving power rankings, Missouri would probably have moved up a little bit for me in my power rankings. I thought they showed a lot of resilience against Kansas. All right, we got MTSU taking on Nevada. Dear God, what's wrong with you? Nevada's an 8.5-point favorite, over under 46.5. What do you want to talk about in this one?
What's wrong with me is my Blue Raiders are on life support. There's a website I like to use, Team Rankings. They have some solid predictive stats on likely to make a bowl game. And if you remember our preseason bowl parlay, that pays just under 70-1. Most of it sitting pretty well, to be honest. A lot, over 75%. But our Blue Raiders down there at 12% to make a bowl.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I will say they pick up a win here against Nevada, who's looked pretty pitiful in their own right. They do get into conference play with pretty easy conference schedule, playing some of the lower hanging fruit in the CUSA. So not really much of a bigger breakdown besides we need it. This is a we need it game.
We need it. Oh, my goodness. Nevada, they just played Penn State, right?
That was week 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of Penn State, they got another grueling game on their schedule this week, don't they?
Yep,
Who are they
Villanova.
playing? Like Villanova. All right. Man, how do they keep getting away with it? How do they keep getting away with it?
Indiana's taking the brunt, and then Penn State just puts this schedule together.
Huh. Unreal, truly. Okay. All right, this is an interesting SEC game here, man. We got Arkansas taking on Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 7.5-point favorite. Over under 61.5. 6 p.m. Central, ESPN. This game is just like what college football is about. Like this game just feels fun, crazy, high scoring. Definitely take Arkansas plus the points. You know it's going to come right down to the wire. This is just college football. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I agree. The under is kind of ticked down a little bit from opening at 62.5. I do like the over in this game, a classic Lane Kiffin shootout down Ole Miss way. Taylor Green, super impressive so far this season. Already thrown 10 touchdowns. They put a licking on the in-state rival, first ever matchup with Arkansas State. So, and Ole Miss had some solid composure there, down 10, come back and beat Kentucky on the road.
Yep.
So I think two composed teams, two teams that are available to make noise in the SEC, if we're being completely honest here. And I like the over, man. It's a big number. And when you talk 60s, it's like, oh, you need a shootout. You can't just get someone to 50 in that type of game and expect the other team to just kind of keep caring. So I expect some fireworks down there. Oxford,
I would tend to.
is that what I was thinking of? There we go.
It's crazy how your brain just like knows things, and you're like, how did I know that?
Just got to pull it out of there.
Like I'll be watching a football game and I'll see, a linebacker on the Vikings, and I'm like, oh, that's Ivan Pace Jr. And I'm like, how did I know that that's Ivan Pace Jr.? Like, huh? All right, cool. And yeah, I think Arkansas plus the points would be my lean in that one. Although to be fair, I mean, I haven't watched a second of Arkansas this year. It just feels like just a very fun game.
Yeah, they've gotten out in the SEC and led in explosiveness and points per play attempts. So, yeah, I mean, this offense is here to play. So let's get in a shootout. We deserve one.
Yeah. All right, moving on to your Ohio State Buckeyes are hosting Ohio University. Ohio State's favorited by 31.5. Over-unders 51.5, 6 p.m. Central, Peacock. What do you think of this game?
I think it's an interesting game. Team coming off a high, obviously, getting a home win against a Power 4 opponent in Ohio. And then you have Ohio State, who got a complete tune-up game. All the backups were in out of half. So, just to everyone stay healthy type game against Grambling. And I see this just a wacky line. They don't expect Ohio to really score. They have that low total and that high spread. So I actually kind of lean the over here. Uh, Navarro is a hell of a quarterback. I just need that kid to get down. I mean, Jesus. He just craves contact. He's gonna get knocked out of many games this year if he's gonna run that much. I mean, they heavily rely on him to run the ball. So I need him to get down, but I think he's talented enough to potentially pop one in and maybe garbage time pop two. But yeah, I like the over in this game because I can see Ohio State, who looked a lot better on offense, just situationally, obviously tough to kind of match up against Grambling to get a real judgment of what a team looks like. But yeah, Sane just throws a good ball, and I like the over 51.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was going to ask you what your thoughts were on their offense. So it sounds like they just looked a lot cleaner.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you were all over that Ohio State team total. Were you able to hop on that?
No, didn't see it until too late. But yeah, it did hit. Obviously, they scored 70. So
Yep.
Forgot to get that on the card. That's tough. Oh, we need as many W's as we can get. Need as many check marks.
For sure, especially with the way I'm picking. Just fade me. 7 p.m. Central, ESPN2. This game is pretty interesting. Duke against Tulane. Duke is -1.5. Over under 54.5. Wait, why is Duke favored in this game?
That's when I made the graphic. It's down to, I believe, a pick 'em, or it's like a point, half point spread. But no, Duke back up to -1.5.
What am I missing? What don't I get that you can explain?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Tulane struggled to close out a below average South Alabama team last week. Kind of squeaked away with the win there. Thought it was thought -10 was wrapped up for us nice and neatly, but South Alabama really made it a game. Outside of that, Duke, this seems like a bounce back spot, right?
Yeah.
Like they got kind of throttled by Illinois. It was a game for a lot of the portion of it, but really got pulled away on towards the end there.
So
I
many
just think,
self-inflicted mistakes by Duke.
yeah, for sure. And you have to wonder, like against another good team in Tulane, can they clean it up in less than a week? And especially when you are coming in with Tulane's former quarterback and the head coach knows this guy's ticks. Obviously, they don't know the plays or anything, but they'll have a little bit of an advantage knowing Mensa's type of play, style of play, in and out. Already have that advantage when it comes to the weekly prep. I have Tulane in the playoff, so maybe I'm need to look at this game a little further in depth, but I like Tulane, man, at home.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, that's what I was getting at when I said, why is this line this line? Because I was thinking the same thing. But at the end of the day, the sample size is just so limited this early on in the year. Maybe Duke does have the bounce back. Like you said, I thought Tulane looked pretty good against Northwestern to open up the year. I mean, they picked off Northwestern's quarterback 4 times in that game. Did not watch last week's game for Tulane. And then I did watch a ton of that Duke-Illinois game. And, man, Illinois just kept making play after play after play. It kind of felt like one of those games where you got to give Illinois some credit, but they also just got – it kind of just felt like they got every good break their way. I mean, that line was like 2.5 at kick.
Yeah.
So it's not like Vegas or the market saw those two teams as all that far apart. Yet here we are, Illinois now is the 9th ranked team in the country. You know, Duke is somewhat of an afterthought, I guess. So I don't know. I don't have a side on this game or play. It's just a good game, like very good game.
Yeah. I will say Tulane's been really relying on the run this year, and if you're watching this game, this would be a good live bet game since it's right there to pick 'em. Where if Duke's kind of showing that they came to stop the run, might be Duke's day, because Tulane has been very below average when it comes to throwing the ball, but Retzlaff does run the ball like a maniac, so they have that advantage. So it might be a good live bet game to dive into.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, Minnesota at Cal,
10:30 Eastern.
10:30 Eastern on ESPN. Speaking of 10:30 Eastern kicks, there's a double. Never mind. There's a doubleheader in the NFL next Monday night, and the first game's at 7 Eastern, and then the second game's at 10 Eastern. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah.
But Minnesota, very small road favorite, 1.5. Over unders 43.5. Yeah. What do you make of this game?
Yeah, we're gonna have to let's see. We're gonna have to check, kind of monitor this game for Minnesota's starting running back, just to make sure that he's good to go.
Taylor?
Yeah, Darius Taylor. If not, Justin Wilcox has proven year in and year out he likes to cover as a home dog, just a dog in general. So, and the freshman QB from Cal has looked kind of good, huh? So,
Right.
As much as we wanted him to do bad so Devin Brown could get in, this kid's kind of balling.
He says we. Like I needed to see Devin Brown wear number 33 out there. Please.
Oh boy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean this is just a good. This feels like a Big Ten game. I think it's going to be low scoring. That total 43 seems right. I know it's ugly to bet, but that's a game where the opposite. You don't have to stay up late for the over. You can kind of doze off. It's like 7-3, getting close to half. 46-yarder to go into the half. Misses, kind of fall asleep. You wake up, it's 14-6 late in the fourth, and you're good. You're good. Head to bed. Head to bed with that under. Just two hard-nosed teams that I think will play some good ball to keep us under that total. That's why I had it there late.
Yep, I would tend to agree. I mean, California, they're playing a freshman quarterback who had a QBR of 18 last week against Texas Southern. So I would imagine he's gonna have moments where he struggles and possibly makes some mistakes. Minnesota, never been a super high scoring team. They're also going with a new quarterback. So I like your lean on the under, or your play on the under, and my lean would be Minnesota. Just a little bit more of an experienced team to get the win.
Yeah. And from last week too, any sickos with me that were up on that Hawaii over needed to be up for the entire fucking game, which sucked. They ended up cruising over, but points didn't start exchanging until like the fourth. It was definitely the live line was like right there until the fourth quarter. And the final was 37-20. We needed over 47.5. So all the sickos that were up with me until 2:30 watching Hawaii, Sam Houston State. Shout out.
Shout out is right. That's some serious dedication. Wanted to get your thoughts on a couple of the earlier games as well. Starting on Thursday, and we'll make these quick hitters. Do you have any thoughts on NC State taking on Wake Forest, 7:30 p.m. Central, ESPN?
Yeah, I do. That's on the card as well. I like NC State with the points. Just cannot figure out what's going on with Wake's offense. They cannot do anything on the offensive side of the ball. Been fine on defense, only allowing 9 points in each game. But CJ Bailey was really impressive last week against Virginia. We gave out that over, and NC State's offense looked really well polished and well put together. So I like that. This is the longest consecutive rivalry played, right?
No, I didn't know that.
117 games in a row.
Wow.
So Wake, NC State, and NC State is a benefactor of. They don't leave the North Carolina, NC State, or I'm sorry, North Carolina, Virginia area until like week 6. So they get a lot of kind of home cooking area. Stay rested. I'm on that spread 7 with NC State.
Oh, okay. Colorado against Houston. Looks like Houston is a 4.5-point favorite. This game is Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Central, ESPN. Connor Wegman taking on potentially a new quarterback for Colorado. Do you have any thoughts on this game?
Ryan Staub. Yeah, Alex. If I were a man that were to bet on Friday, which I'm not, do not bet Friday games. It's like my what is that? Sabbath? Is that what they call that? When you like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I were, I'd look at this over. I'd entertain this over. Houston, a pretty stout defense, got us to that over against Rice last week, basically by themselves. Rice wacky offense. By the way, hadn't talked about them. Not a true triple option. It's a weird speed option in the pistol. So they're dead to me before they even became alive. Yeah, I don't know. I would lean towards the over here. I think Colorado's very in play to have a short leash on their quarterbacks. I'm always a proponent in backing a team with a backup coming in because less prep from the other defense, more excitement from the offense around. So I don't know. But I will not officially be betting this game because it's on Friday. Be sure you know that.
Yep. We understand, but I like the thought process there. I could see the over hitting at 45.5 is what I'm looking at. And then another Friday game at 9:00 Central on Fox. Kansas State, yes, that same Kansas State team takes on Arizona. These two squads played last year on a Friday, and I remember Kansas State beat Arizona pretty thoroughly, something like 34-7. That was when Kansas State used to be good. Now they're bad. Do we think Arizona is going to win? This game is pretty much a pick 'em. K-State's a slight favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm not betting Friday games because I would be sick enough to back the Wildcats one more time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess they're both Wildcats. I'd be sick enough to back the Kansas State Wildcats here. A Wildcat off. Loser loses the Wild. Just becomes the Cats. Yeah, I don't know. Arizona's looked decently impressive. Fafita kind of looks like he's got his his mojo back. They really got to beat up on a we talked about it last week, a banged up on offense Hawaii team, turned the ball over 5 times. Yeah, man. I don't know. I will put my hand up. I didn't really dive into this game too much, but on gut alone, I'd go Kansas State.
Sure. All right. Cool. I think that's pretty much all I would want to cover as far as any additional games are concerned. I mean, couple quick Big Ten games on Saturday. You got Oregon taking on Northwestern in Chicago. That's got to be the first time that they're playing Northwestern in Chicago. And then you got USC taking on Purdue in West Lafayette. So personally, my 2 initial thoughts would be taking the favorite to cover the spread in both of those games, taking Oregon to cover against Northwestern, and taking USC to cover against Purdue. But that is very Joe of me. So I was wondering if you had any pushback.
Man, that mobile stadium has some history in cashing unders for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the under in like a weird spot. You know, a lot of people are harping on that time because it's 11 a.m. Pacific time for the body clocks kicking off there. Tough to truly judge a team, but Northwestern did, flex a little bit. 42-0, gave up a touchdown late against an FCS school, but got off the mat at least after a 4 interception performance. I don't know, man. I wouldn't be shocked, especially we have Oregon, Penn State next week. Is that next week?
No, that is 2 weeks from now.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I thought that was right in the right on the horizon. So not quite a look ahead game, but dude, don't sleep on your Wildcats, man. I'd lean that spread.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this should be a decent barometer after getting embarrassed in week 1 against Tulane, and then, like you said, getting off the mat last week. We'll see if they can hold serve at least a little bit with Oregon. Anything in USC versus Purdue?
Yeah, I'm on USC. I think Purdue is, they've shown that they're a football team. They can beat the cupcakes, and that's good because it didn't look like they were really going to be a serviceable team at all. Some of the stuff coming out there late in the preseason, but man, this USC team is rolling. Maivia, not Mavia. This isn't Diego Pavia. Maivia looks good. Hasn't turned the ball over yet. Like, offense is clicking on all cylinders, averaging the most points in the country, just about 60 something points per game in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Decent. I think that continues. I don't really care about the road. There's going to be, this isn't like under the lights or anything, is it?
No, it's 2:30.
Yeah, so I don't think anything wacky will happen. I like that 21 number. Get it before that hook comes in.
Okay. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it in terms of the big games in week 3.
Well, there is one other big game that we need to cover, Alex.
What's that?
The Mac Messiah is back. We have our first Mac versus Mac action in week 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Buffalo travels to Kent State, Nick Marzano's favorite stadium, Dick's Stadium. And we have a 22.5-point favorite in Buffalo. The line's kind of crawled up, and the total is kind of ticked down a little bit, 48.5. Listen, I know everyone's just going to pile on Kent State, which, can be reasonable. Not to get too in-depth on this game, but So far, two of the slower moving teams, both in the bottom 30 of pace when it comes to time per play. And, two teams that have been somewhat a little bit successful when it comes to line play. Obviously, Kent State has given up some explosive plays against a pretty decent offense in Texas Tech. But I'm not completely bought in on this Buffalo offense went through the air. And I think, they kind of like slowly, methodically beat St. Francis last week that, I had a line 30, I think I got it at 33 and a half. I was like, are they even going to get there? Like, there's time going to run out. It took them a while. It kind of beat a team that we've talked about is moving down a division. So, as ugly as this sounds, I like the under 48 and a half. Oh, puke. I think it's like, I don't know. Kent State hasn't quit in any game. They scored 14 late against Texas Tech. Something just ugly like 26-7, 27-7.
Sure.
That's the type of game I'm seeing right now as my play for the first MAC game of the year.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see it, dude. Let's freaking go. That one looks like it's a 11 a.m. Central game on Saturday.
Yep.
Should we move on to the teaser?
Yeah, absolutely. What are you feeling?
Okay. Let's cross 0 and take Georgia.
To 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take Arkansas.
What are you seeing? 14 or 13 and a half?
Well, they're plus 7.5 on my book, so I guess that would
14.
get us to 14.
It's a good number.
And did you take Vanderbilt?
No, I did not.
Let's take Vanderbilt.
Wow. SEC, Alex.
Did I pick three SEC games?
He sure did.
Oh, wow.
Vandy and Scar. They're still at 5.5.
Yep.
Okay. Gets us up to 12. Oh, 3 solid numbers from you would be hilarious. 3 draws.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me grab this because I have my plays as well. Un momento. But yeah, I think those are solid plays, right? Like the plus side of things. We like any plus money here, and plus side is anything we want to get behind. So I don't mind where your head's at.
Pause. We hit our teaser last week.
We sure did. How did we not bring that up? Oh my gosh. Yep, we hit the teaser last week. God damn. Great call out, Alex.
5-1.
5-1. And it has us, we only have to hit it 3 times the entire season to be profitable. I think we hit it like 5 times last year. Something crazy like that.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah. And obviously we release this every week, and it's on the live show as well. Yeah, Iowa, USF, Vandy spreads all hit comfortably. And then Baylor, who was a sweat at some point, then it wasn't, to +9. Mizzou, Pick'em, good call by you. And then Mississippi State, rocking chair at +13. All those pretty no sweat on the actual tease side.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
When it came down to crunch time. So yeah, good hit. We had a good hit there.
Yeah.
So this week we've got I've got Notre Dame down to that pick 'em. I just don't see any world where this team loses at home with that week off. UConn, heartbreaking loss, get off the mat at Delaware. I also like their game, -9.5. 10 in a lot of spots now. I'll still take 10. Then Buffalo, yeah, I don't know if I like the 22, but I definitely like 15.5. Can just see a backdoor in the 22, but I could see them easily covering 15.5. So you went all plus, I went all minus. What could go wrong?
Great. Yeah, let's run it back. Let's win it again. And
Do you like the Cracker Barrel style logo I have now at the top?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't even looking. You're talking about the banner that says week 3 teaser?
Yes.
I do like it. Yeah, it's pleasant. Why is that Cracker Barrel style?
Well, that's the type it was like that shape was like what they tried to redesign. Did you not see any of that outpouring?
I did, in terms of people being mad, but I didn't pay any attention. Just saw it.
Yeah, they took the cracker and the barrel out of there and they put basically that logo you see at the top, and it was just like in this font, cracker barrel. It was
Just a
as
little,
like
just a little table napkin.
Pretty much. They walked that back big time.
Sure did. But you can never win some of them back.
That's right.
You know, some went to Waffle House and they're gone.
Oh man! All right, that's a good teaser.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? Parlay is going to take a little more time to stew on. Went 2-4 last week. Not even close. So everything went wrong.
Yeah.
It was paying 63-1. So a little patience, please. I'm gonna have one that pays a little lower this time around, just to get the legs wet. Maybe in the 10-1 range.
Mm-hmm.
And outside of that, I'm still weighing my locks this week. I really like UConn 9.5. Like Pittsburgh 6.5, 7. Also, USC is in that category for a lock for me. So I keep an eye out on our final cards on Friday for the live show and on our Twitter. But yeah, those are 3 games that really stick out to me as locks right now.
Cool. Yeah, I'll let you know what my finalized card looks like in a couple days, but nothing to share right now on my end.
No, nothing jumping out at you. Like I'm really liking what this is lining up against.
I just know that I'm a fraud, and you should fade my picks.
No,
Not only this week, but moving forward.
You're no Trent. Come on now. This is your statement. I could see a 0 on the recap next week, and it's sitting right there in the middle of the 3 numbers.
Okay, so another push.
008 pushes 8 games. I mean, that'd be more impressive than anything else.
College football to me right now looks like, is it hieroglyphics?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
It looks like Cam Newton's texting you.
Yes.
Our other plays that I like the under in the Georgia Tech Clemson game. I like the over in the Tennessee Georgia game, 49.5. USF Miami, give me that over as well. Under in Notre Dame TAMU, and also lean LSU -7.5, and also I kind of lean that over a 48.5 under that 50 number. LSU the last 3 times at home against Florida put 40 on their own. So like LSU to get right in Death Valley this week. And of course, Vanderbilt plus money. Bama first half. Shit, that might be my lock. I really like Bama first half. Missouri 27.5. For those who might not listen on Friday, these are all ones that will be on my card most likely, but definitely leans. MTSU plus 8.5. That's just no one else follow me. I'll just go down with my ship there. No one even dare get on MTSU with me. That's a personal vendetta I gotta take to the grave. Yeah, and then Arkansas, Mississippi over. Really like that bet. I think you do too. We'll see if that makes a card. And I like the Ohio State, Ohio over 51.5. I think Ohio State could get there on their own. I like Ohio to put at least 10, maybe 14 up. So, and then give me Tulane as well.
All right. Yeah, fun show. A lot of games to look forward to. It's a pretty good card. So, yeah, it's always a blast breaking down the games with you and hearing your thoughts. So, that's really all I got.
All right, I'll be tailing all your plays. So, can't wait to hear the card.
All right, see you guys.
Goodbye. Love you.